Okay, so we thought that we were going to close on Thursday, have the weekend, everything would clear out, and then first thing Monday morning, hammers would be swinging, demo would start. Not so much. So one thing we learned so far in this process, we continue to learn, but something we learned most recently is mold. We knew that because of the age of the house and because there's some visible areas, just like show right here, some visible areas where you can see that there's some mold on the wall or near some of the vents. I'll show you over here. That we knew that there was some mold in the house, and we knew that we would have to have that tested and make sure that we got rid of any mold that was in the walls or in any of the foundation before we could start. But we didn't realize that that meant start demo. So what's happened is we had a mold test done earlier this week. It came back that we have some mold. Most people are familiar with black mold. We know that's the scary mold. I went online, I read about mold, and some people say, hey, it's not that big a deal. Other people say it's a terrible idea to be in your house and for you to be there. This is a house for our family, so of course, we're going to make sure that we prevent any kind of sickness from mold. So you can see here in the master bedroom closet on the wall here, there's some black little spots of mold. That doesn't mean it's black mold, but that's just the color of the mold here. You can also see, let's see, come over here. On this vent here, there's a lot of lint, but also, a good little bit of mold too. So what the mold test revealed is that there's a hole in this wall or this roof over here that we showed you earlier this week. And what we think is happening is water is coming through and has been coming through for a while through this hole. And so the mold is sort of isolated where it's starting and then it's spreading. So part of how we're going to treat this mold is going up into the roof. I'll show you over here. Our attic starts here. We'll have someone come into the attic. They will pull what's it called?
Insulation.
Yeah, thank you. The insulation, they'll take that down, clean any mold that's there, spray up there, then they'll replace new insulation. Of course, they'll patch the hole in the roof. We did actually tested the wood, and so you can test the wood a couple ways. I mean, you can of course just feel it with your hands, but there's also a moisture sort of tester. I don't know what it's called, but that's what they do. They put it on top of the wood and they see if there's actual moisture inside the wood. We didn't have any moisture inside of the wood, so we know it's an isolated area. So what they're gonna do is, again, clear out that mold in the attic, in that one isolated spot, that hole in the roof. They're going to replace the insulation. They're also going to put a chemical into the air that'll absorb all of the mold out of the air in the house as well. And then demo can start. This will probably happen next week, prayerfully. And then once the house is completely renovated, then we'll come through again. They'll do another sort of mold treatment later that time, right? Because they'll have already done most of the work next week. And then we'll be able to make sure that the mold has been resolved and then we don't have the issues anymore. So that's the lesson on mold for this week. Wish us luck.